When people ask me where I'm from and I say I'm from Grambling, I get one of two responses, sometimes both. You're from Grambling? And the other is, oh, I didn't know anyone was actually from there. It's a living, breathing town, so there are people there who have to operate the city. So yes, I'm from Grambling, Louisiana. So I have a unique perspective in having gone to school there as well. What made my childhood a little bit different was my grandfather's job. And I call it a job, but it was really his life. It wasn't something that he'd get up and go to in the morning and come home and turn it off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon like a lot of people do. He was Grambling's football coach. His name was Eddie Robinson. And he did fairly well in his job, some people would say. And so his job was our lives. Everything revolved around Grambling and Grambling football. It's all we knew. Grambling was not my first choice to go to college. Actually, I wanted to go to Spelman College, and Spelman was not offering any money to go to school. My parents were adamant about me going to Grambling. So between a tuition exemption and scholarship, I went to school for free. I lived in Tubman Hall for one semester, actually when I was pledging Delta Sigma Theta, and I roomed with another line sister at the time, and then moved off campus from there. It was a time before social media, so everybody actually had to meet up and talk to each other. And so 5 o'clock every day in front of the cafeteria and the student union, it was just amazing crowds. The band would be practicing, the football team would be off practicing, all of the Greeks were on their plots, and it was just a really magical time, the ultimate portrait of an HBCU. I started out as a psychology major, and I moved over to the electrical engineering technology department. But because our department wasn't full-fledged engineering, I moved out of that department, third time's the charm, right? And got into computer science. And at the time, I didn't really realize just how impactful being in a STEM program would be for me, especially as a Black woman in corporate America. I graduated in the summer of ¡93, and then I went off to adult in Maryland at IBM. I had a great experience at IBM, but of course in jobs like that you want to move and grow, and I've done that and eventually ended up here in Atlanta, still working somewhat in IT. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Grambling and all of the skills, the life skills that I received having gone to Grambling. I am forever Grambling because it's all I've ever been, and it's all I really know. So it's hard for me to think about not doing for Grambling, not being there for Grambling, not talking about Grambling, not fighting for Grambling. It's just, it would be out of character and against what's natural for me. The other part of that, forever Grambling as an alum, is to make sure that Grambling is still there for generations to come. And I want them to have an even better experience. I want them to have better facilities. I want them to have better programs like cybersecurity, which is, we're leading the effort on that in the state of Louisiana and among a handful in the country to incorporate a program like that. So hopefully it will enable us to recruit more students and also engage more companies to support our university as well. So it's just important that we as alumni are there to give not only our money, which is very important, but it's also important to give our time and our talents to it with local alumni chapters, or calling the university and finding out what you can do for them, going to college fairs, and getting the word out again about Grambling. When I was growing up, we were in the news a lot, we were in magazines a lot, our name was out there. But I found, meeting kids today, that some of them have never heard of Grambling, and that's mind-boggling for me. But it's up to us to get the word out about Grambling again. And in the words of my grandfather, tell them something good about Grambling. Tell them something good about Grambling. And that's our jobs. And so, you can't just walk away with your degree and say, that's it, I've got it, I'm off to do bigger and better things. Grambling is that bigger and better thing for us.